The rise of ISIS-K in Afghanistan is posing an additional threat to Western forces and the Taliban. For more on that, let's go to Kamran Bokhari. He's the Director of Analytical Development at the Newline Institute for Strategy and Policy. He joins us from Washington. All right, Kamran, what does the K stand for in ISIS-K?
So ISIS-K, or the K in ISIS-K, stands for Khorasan, which is sort of the medieval term used for, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, the broader region. And, there are references in, medieval Muslim literature about Muslims being, or prophecies, if you will, about Muslims being successful in this part of the world. So Islamist groups, jihadist groups, have sort of referenced that medieval literature in order to be able to claim legitimacy and justification. And so ISIS said, divided the world up into wilayat, which are quote unquote provinces of their caliphate, which is, on paper right now. And Khorasan represents one of those provinces or wilayat that encompasses, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. But because Iran is out of reach of of ISIS, so it's mainly Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Okay, so let me ask you, is it clear how big this group is, how many members there are of ISIS-K, and who are they allied with, if anybody?
So it's not really clear, but what we do know is that they've demonstrated a capability to stage large-scale bombings inside Afghanistan and Pakistan. They are aligned with a number of local groups, so a lot of the more radical Taliban factions who, don't subscribe to the idea of the emirate, and instead emirate being a local Islamist state within the borders of Afghanistan, and subscribe to more of a global caliphate. So you have these types both in Afghanistan and in Pakistan, and the Pakistani Taliban are of a transnational mindset. And there are other groups in Pakistan who are also of that mindset. So this is what the ISIS in this region looks like. It's not like ISIS from Iraq and Syria parachuted into this area and then set up shop. It's these people got inspired, pledged allegiance to the mothership in Iraq and Syria, and then they began operating.
Okay, so how much of a threat are they to the Taliban in Afghanistan, if you would consider them a threat, and how much of a threat are they to allied forces in Afghanistan?
So the ISIS-K has basically denounced the Taliban as, pseudo or fake Islamists and jihadists, and they point to their negotiations with the U.S. As evidence of that. So from the Taliban point of view, the ISIS-K is a competitor. And while, it's kind of interesting that ISIS-K and AQ, Al-Qaeda, have the similar ideology and outlook in terms of, a transnational Islamic state. But the Taliban are allied to AQ, but they're enemies with ISIS-K. And so now that the Taliban are going to be forming a state, and they need to engage in pragmatism, and they're trying to balance ideology with the need to do business with the world because they need international financial assistance, and they're trying to show that they can behave, they risk losing a lot of their people who are steeped in ideology to ISIS-K if they make compromises on ideological principles. So this is a moment for ISIS-K to take advantage of the situation.
Okay, so how much credit do you put in to the Taliban changing, and some saying, we're a different group than we were 20 years ago?
I don't, Marilla. I mean, and to be very blunt, I don't believe them one bit. I think that, first of all, if you look at this from a social scientific point of view, this is not how behavioral, much less ideological transformation takes place. It's a multi-generational process. You can't overnight do that. In fact, the Taliban spokesperson, Zabiullah Mujahid, in his first ever interview to a Western media outlet like the New York Times, openly said, look, it's better if women stay indoors before we are able to get all our fighters to understand that they, how to behave with them. So they're already acknowledging their vulnerabilities. So how long does this process take place where you re-educate your fighters to respect women and allow them to play a role in society and public affairs? That it's like forever. So the Taliban can't change who they are. But I think what the Taliban will happen is they're caught between remaining who they are and being able to do business with the outside world. I think we're headed to a Taliban internal, fracture. So, and which ISIS will take advantage of, but that's going to be down the line. But in my line of work, you look at the next war as opposed to the one that's already happening.
Yeah, more internal strife. They are being squeezed from both directions internally. Kamran, I got to leave it there, but thanks. Good to talk to you today.
Always.